Hello friends, good morning. Once again we are going to resume our discussion on gestation length and factors affecting it. And as you know, these factors are classified in four major categories, which are genetic factors, environmental factors, maternal factors and fetal factors. So in today's session we are going to discuss in detail about the maternal factors and fetal factors. So maternal factors, which includes various parameters, and the first parameter is age of dam. Although there are species-wise variations in the effect of age on gestation length, and inconsistent results are observed in different species. When the dam's age and parity effects were studied in cattle, it was noticed that older cows carried their calves longer than did younger cows. And the similar is also found to be true in case of sheep. But somewhat controversial results were found in the equine species, where the younger fillies at first mating showed longer duration of pregnancy and a negative correlation between the age of dam and the gestation length. There are various reports which describe the negative correlation between age of mare and the gestation length, and they found that young mares have longer gestation duration than the older mares, and gestation duration decreases as the mare gets older. So this was postulated to be due to a decrease in uterine or placental nutritional efficiency and or the metabolic hormonal drive to grow as a consequence of age and the multiparous state, slowing intrauterine growth and prolonging gestation. That means when the animal gets older and the number of parities increases, its efficiency of uterus, placenta as well as various hormonal functions, they get reduced or somewhat depressed with the age effect. So it takes a long time for nourishment of the growing fetus, and hence the gestation period is increased with the age. Although these results are not consistent or not uniformly reported in all the species, there are species wise variations. The next maternal factor is parity of dam. And when the parity was studied in cattle, the gestation length was found to be shorter in case of heifers as compared to their Paris counterparts. So here in this table you can see the difference in gestation length between the heifers and Paris cows, and there are almost half day to 1.8, means around 2 days longer gestation found in case of Paris animals, means heifers have a comparatively shorter gestation length. The third maternal factor is body weight of dam. In placental mammals, the length of gestation is also related to maternal weight. As a general rule, the gestation length is directly proportional to the body weight of dam. Means heavier the cow, longer the duration of gestation, and vice versa. This was experimentally studied in monkeys and other species, and in an experiment with monkeys, rhesus monkeys, 45 pregnancies were studied by maintaining them in a semi-outdoor environment, and it was noticed that the larger mothers carried their infants slightly longer than the smaller ones. The fourth and last category of factors affecting gestational length is the fetal factors, and the first parameter under fetal factors is fetal maturity at birth. So if you see the level of fetal maturity across the different species, you can appreciate the level of fetal maturity is somewhat lesser in case of short gestational length. For example, in mice, rat, rabbit, dogs, the young ones are born at extremely immature state where they are almost blind by eyelids and they are lacking hairs on their body coat. So if size of species is considered here, as the rat, mice, rabbits, they are small in size and hence gestation period is also smaller. So again, one more important example is there about the marsupials, means kangaroo. So the gestational period in kangaroo is around 40 days and it is comparatively huge in size as compared to rat, mice, rabbit. So even after bigger in size, larger in size, the gestation period is very short, that is 40 days only. And if you see the level of fetal maturity at the time of birth of young one, they are extremely mature. Their eyes are blindfolded and the body coat is lacking hairs. And after the birth, they are transferred to the pouch in which the gestation may be said to be continued. So, fetal maturity is positively associated with gestational length, although gestation period is directly proportional to the fetal maturity. But the dependent factor is fetal maturity. Gestational length is independent variable. As the gestation period prolongs, fetal maturity will automatically prolong. So the fetal maturity is positively associated with gestational length, but saying that as fetal maturity increases, gestation will also increase. This will be inappropriate because greater fetal maturity is the consequence of increased gestation length rather than the cause of same. Means as the gestation will prolong, fetal maturity will automatically increase. So here the gestation length is independent factor and fetal maturity is the outcome, that is depending on the length of gestation. Second fetal factor is the litter size. Litter size means number of young ones born at the same parturition, and duration of gestation is inversely proportional to litter size in monococcus as well as polycoccus species also, except in pig, wherein the litter size does not exert a marked effect on the mean gestational length. So here you can see as the litter size increases, duration of gestation will decrease. So here litter size is also determining the duration of gestation. If we talk about the monococcus species where the number of fetus at the time of birth is always one, but in sporadic cases, in rare cases, you can see twins and triplets also, as in the pictures you can see there are triplets in cow. So in such type of pregnancies where twins or triplets are there, the gestation period is shorter as compared to the normal, and the difference may vary from 4 to 12 days shorter than the normal gestation length. The third parameter under fetal factors affecting the gestational length is sex of fetus, and the sex of fetus can also determine the duration of gestation. And it is universally accepted fact that the male fetus are carried quite longer as compared to the female fetuses. So in cattle also it was reported that male fetus were carried 6 days longer than the female fetuses. And gestation duration was found to be longer in case of mares which gave birth to colt rather than fillies. So in this table you can see different breeds of cattle are listed, particularly the indigenous Indian breeds, Bos Indicus, and the difference in gestational length which are carrying male versus female calves. You can see the difference from half day to around 4-5 days. The fourth and last factor is fetal size and birth weight. So there is a positive association between the weight and size of the fetus versus gestational length. But again, the fetal weight and size depends on the length of gestation. Here, the gestational length is the independent factor, whereas the fetal size and birth weight is the outcome of gestational length. As the gestational length will increase, obviously fetus will keep on growing and it will attain more and more weight. So there will be more weight of the fetus at the time of birth. And this effect of fetal size and birth weight is well studied in case of dairy and beef breeds of cattle, buffaloes, as well as sheep. So this is all about the various factors affecting gestational length across the different species. And now the prolonged gestation and teratology. Till now we had studied about variations in gestation length within the physiological limits. For example, in canines, suppose gestation length varies between day 58 to 66. And various factors like breed variations, nutrition, parity, or fetal sex can influence the gestation length within the specific normal range of a particular species. Means the gestation period may vary from 58 days. Some canines will have a gestation period of 60 days, some will have a gestation period of 65 days, or some will have 66 days. But there are variations within this physiological limit. If gestation prolongs beyond 70 days or 75 days, then it is called as prolonged gestation, which is always abnormal and pathological. So there are various conditions in which you can see the prolonged gestation. For example, fetal deformities. If the development of fetal HPA axis, that is hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, is compromised and hence the fetal brain and adrenal glands are ill developed. For example, the conditions like hydrocephalus, hydroamnios, hydroallantois, and fetal gigantism. So in such conditions, there is malformation or compromised development of the fetal brain and adrenal glands, and due to this, the gestation length is abnormally prolonged. Such pathologies may happen because of some genetic abnormalities, due to some infectious causes like bovine viral diarrhea, mucosal disease complex, Borders disease, blue tongue virus, likewise. Or it may happen due to some toxic regions like some toxic plants like Veratrum species. So when animal is exposed to such kind of etiological factors, spontaneous induction of birth fails as a result of insufficient production of fetal cortisol and the failure of luteolysis to occur. And hence pregnancy will not terminate and it will continue, and that is said to be a prolonged gestation. Next conditions are fetal death. If there is intrauterine fetal death and if result into mummification or maceration, then also the gestational length will prolong from the normal. In case of cloned or IVP embryos, that is in vitro produced embryos, the gestational length is abnormally prolonged. And in case of uterine torsion, where the gestation length is normal, but because of the twist in the uterus, in the reproductive tract or birth canal, dam fails to expel the fetus outside, and hence the gestation length is automatically increased. So this is a case of hydrocephalus reported in our clinics. Hydrocephalus is a craniofacial defect with a thin-walled fluid-filled cranium and non-functional or absent pituitary gland in the fetus. So calf is usually dead when it is delivered with such type of abnormalities, and some may show evidence of severe abnormalities of the cranium and face. So here also you can see the shorter upper jaw whereas the longer lower jaw. This is the face abnormality, and head abnormalities you can see, and even the development of the pituitary gland and brain is also compromised. So this case was reported in the clinics after 15 days of completion of gestation, when buffalo did not parturiate, and hence owner reported this case in the clinics. So after her vaginal delivery, we had punctured this hydrocephalus condition and drained out all the fluids, and after post-mortem examination we seen that there was no fetal brain, and even there was no pituitary glands in the sella turcica of the sphenoid bone. Here you can see. So the absence of this gray matter and pituitary gland leads to the prolongation of the gestation. And we have reported this case as a case report by the title Compromised Development of Hypothalamo-Pituitary Adrenal Axis in Fetus Can Delay the Parturition. So it was published in the Blue Cross book somewhere in 2018. So this is all about the gestation length and factors affecting gestation length within the normal physiological limits, as well as in the pathological conditions when the gestation prolongs beyond the normal range. So thank you everyone. Thank you very much.